Ennard is a fan favorite animatronic, and as such he has lots of scary fan versions. These stretch in all different directions, but one thing is common. They're all absolutely horrific in some way or another, and those alternate versions are what we're exploring today, whether they be from a game or just from the mind of a twisted FNAF fan. Not that you're actually twisted, I'm saying this for dramatic effect. Okay. This is the top 10 scary FNAF alternate fan versions of Ennard, and if you like FNAF, be sure to subscribe because we make way too much FNAF content for our own well-being. Okay, let's do it. In a 10 Rockstar Ennard. I don't really know what to say about this version, it's just kind of Ennard with a star on his chest and then maybe a little shorter with an unproportionately large head, and I 100% spelt that wrong in my script. Unproportionately is definitely wrong, now that I'm looking at it. But I don't care, auto captions is gonna fix it for me. But still, there isn't really much difference with the Rockstar version if I'm being totally honest, which is why it's so high on this list, but it's still creepy, since like I've established in other videos, incorrectly proportioned heads give me the creeps. Like when I was talking about the original images that Funko leaked of the security breach animatronic figures, thus resulting in design changes. Yeah, but seriously, what the hell, guys? Why? Why did you just add a star to his chest or his sternum, I guess, and then make his head bigger? Like, that's just, it's messed up and hella weird. But don't worry, it gets weirder. And before we move on to those weirder things, especially number one, because holy Jesus crisp, be sure you're hitting that like button if you love the FNAF content because it lets us know what you want to see more of and helps us against the algorithm almighty. It would really help me. Okay, I'm sorry. In at 9, Stylized Ennard. What if Ennard was remade by the Galactic Federation in an effort to take down Rick Sanchez? That's basically how I see Stylized Ennard, at least when he's black and red. The sleekness that gets added to Ennard honestly makes him much more intimidating. Like before, much like myself, he was a mess, just a hunk of robot flesh with no true purpose, something that he just threw together in an effort to be able to stand. However, when stylized, he has his figured out. No more seemingly random wires, no more being an absolute dumpster of robot parts, and instead, he's on a mission. He wants to get inside you and take over your body. Wow, I never realized how much of a creeper this dude like really is. At least when you put it like that and don't take into account the context of the games. Imagine walking up to someone and just like saying that and not describing that it was a robot trying to steal your body. They'd think you were talking about the government. Too much? In at 8, Diner Ennard. Michael Afton, the boy who lived, come to die. And I'm not even making a joke, this 100% looks like if Ennard were Voldemort and then watched one too many makeup tutorial videos on YouTube. And when you see it, you will absolutely agree. This is the beauty YouTuber of animatronics. If James Charles, Jeffree Star, Tati Westbrook, and Nikki Tutorials, I think that's their names, had a love child with all their combined genetics and lack of eyebrows, this is what would happen. This is the face of my nightmares. This is the one who is truly behind Dramageddon. And if none of you understand this, this number is truly lost. But I guarantee you 1000% that what I'm saying is absolutely perfectly accurate even if you don't understand it. You need to trust me. I think I've earned it at this point, unless you're new here, in which case, hi, hit subscribe, you'll enjoy your stay. Aha, look at that segue. Can Ennard turn into a segue? In at 7, Buff Ennard. I looked this up as a joke, because Buff Helpy, and it turned out to be a thing, and it makes me upset. Like, this can either be Ennard with just more endoskeleton stuff, like wires, tubes, tentacles? I don't know what to call it, but that metallic stuff on his insides, but like more of it, making him look more muscular. Or it could be adding a shell onto him and then giving him a Speedo, and that's the more popular one, unfortunately. And there's one version that gives him like a skin tone, okay? It's messed up. Like, why is this a thing? Why did someone subject me to this? Because now you have to see it. It's just, I don't know what else to say. This is nightmare fuel. Like, at least, like, as much nightmare fuel as Buff Helpy. But you know what? I think I prefer Buff Helpy to this. Like, at least Helpy is nice. He doesn't want to kill you or shove himself inside you. Wait, that sounds weird. Anyway, he just wants to jump in balls. Okay. A ball pit. He just wants to jump in a ball pit. But Buff Ennard just makes me feel uncomfortable. It's like that one time I went to the gym all over again. And at 6, Scrap Ennard. What the ever-loving hell is this monstrosity? Originally, this was at number 10, and then I moved it to number 8. And then, after looking at it again, I moved it to number 6, because what the living there are so many versions of Scrap Ennard that I just don't understand how Ennard managed to be even more Scrap-like. Like, Ennard is the reason for Scrap Baby already, and Molten Freddy is best described as a scrapped Freddy or Ennard. So in a way, Ennard is the reason for the Scrap animatronics, but like, the amount of variety with these creations is insane. Some have claws, others have a more rundown mask, and there are a couple that are the absolute pure embodiment of terror. There's nothing that is Ennard aside from the party hat that is even visible, and instead it's covered with the various other funtime animatronics, including Bitty Baps, which just makes me think that this guy is using babies as armor. And that's very Rick and Morty. I like it. Halfway through in at number 5, Repaired Ennard. Usually most of Ennard's scare comes from the fact that he only wears a mask. Other than that, he's just bearing all of his endoskeleton out for the world to see. If you got it, flaunt it, right? Well, after getting used to seeing Ennard without a body, adding one on just makes me feel all kinds of weird. And not how, like, I feel weird when I see Toy Chica. Or when I'm playing Fury's Rage as Chica. Looking at these, I feel uncomfortable. It's like that one relative that you don't really like, but you still need to deal with around the holidays or at family reunions, if we remember what those are like. But like, sure, Buff Ennard was the same way, but that was mostly comical. This is unsettling in the worst of ways. Like, is it just me? Am I the only one who feels like this? Please validate me. Actually, knowing the comments, they're going to say that everything from this list isn't scary, so why am I bothering? Yeah, I'm looking at you. In at 4, Ignited Ennard. What happens when you retire a game series after just 2 years? Apparently, you get attacked by your creations who aren't happy with being discontinued. That's the premise for The Joy of Creation, a fan game featuring ignited versions of your favorite animatronics. And while the game does currently only contain ignited Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy, with the Joy of Creation Ignited Collection, thanks to the Fazbear Fanverse initiative, we could be seeing Ignited Ennard come our way. I mean, I doubt it, but it's possible. Joy of Creation is known as one of the scariest FNAF fan games, so seeing Ennard as an ignited version is damn horrifying. The lack of jaw or other appendages, depending on the artist, is certainly something that I would like to avoid if included in the next game. Like, what the holy Jesus crisp is that? Our Lord and Savory. And at 3, Nightmare Ennard. The beauty of Nightmare versions of animatronics is that they can be anything. There are plenty of directions you can go because everyone will consider different things to be nightmare fuel. Some are very clearly in the style of other Nightmare animatronics, some are a spider-like version that's hunched over and wider than they are long, some have more limbs that are combined with other animatronics like Baby or Funtime Freddy to create a unique nightmare appearance. You can lean more into the clown aesthetic, or you can go a million miles north and do something that nobody else has done, because that's the beauty of it. That's what makes this kind of thing fun, and in doing so, you make something that not even Scott himself would have thought of, and that's kind of beautiful, isn't it? Even if all these versions are making my red pants brown and causing me to black out a little bit. Penultimately, in at number 2, Sinister Enter. As per usual on this list, we have the classic Sinister Enter, based on the fan game Sinister Turmoil. I don't think Ennard actually was meant to have a character in that game. According to the official Sinister Turmoil fandom page, yes they were, but there's only like 3 images of them and they don't really show much, so most of these versions, while there would have been a Sinister Ennard had the game released, appear to be fan-made. But these fan-made versions, Jesus, if it's not even Ennard anymore. It's the Terminator. The sharp teeth, the visible interior, the mask, it's entirely ruined or just not, and that's equally still creepy. In one of them, there is even actually like a body to some of it, but it doesn't matter because Sinister Ennard is an unholy abomination that even Satan wants to send away. I also accidentally spelled Satan like Stan the first time, so I apologize to any FNAF Stan or person named Stan. Or any combination of the two. Although I have to be honest, the FNAF stands aren't always the kindest bunch. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. This thing is a horrifying monstrosity that should have never been created. Although it does look pretty sick, so good job to whoever made these versions. Finally, in at number 1, anatomically correct Ennard. Okay, no joke, I find this thing absolutely terrifying, like a realistic metal zombie in a way. Anatomically correct Ennard is best described by its name. It's a version of Ennard where the metal parts that surround its body, its Ennards, I guess, are actually anatomically correct. So there's more around the chest, and they're in the directions that your muscles would be under your skin, and that makes it horrifying and terribly uncomfortable to look at, especially his face. I don't know what it is about this Ennard's face, but the mask, without the mask, he just looks like the terrifying villain of a Scooby-Doo movie, but more realistic. Like if the latest iteration of the Scooby Gang with Robbie Amell as Fred Jones had gotten a third movie, and they actually tried, this is what it would be. Why was this necessary? Who felt compelled to do this? And why did you subject me to it as well? Because again, now I need to subject everyone else to it, and they're gonna say that it's not scary. What do you expect? They're fictional characters. If you want something actually scary, go check out Most Amazing Top 10. They've got like haunted mirrors that will kill you if you look too close. And if that's not a video already, I'm sorry to whoever will now have to make that video. If this is anatomically correct, does he have a sphincter? And should he have a... There we have it, friends, the top 10 scary FNAF alternate fan versions of Ennard. What scary versions were your favorite, and who should we make a scary fan versions video for next? Be sure you let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.